is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie for your Wednesday podcast. Did you ever get into trouble with the law when you were younger, Kate? No, and this is in reality and Summer Bay life.
Well,
Did you ever get into trouble with the law?
Isn't it funny that that's where my brain went? Because I thought, I don't think I got personally in trouble, but surely
Did Sally get arrested?
Did she?
No?
Was she protesting that the surf club wasn't open late enough? Or so? There had to be something. But you know, Sally Fletcher, she was a good girl. She didn't get the sordid storylines. No. I think we're going to need to draw on your pool of illegal activity. Is it you?
Well, it's funny because they're trying to bring in laws that minors shouldn't be fined because then it carries over into adulthood. There's this poor kid who wasn't wearing a helmet on his push bike. This is going to blow your mind how much he was fined in one day. It's in the podcast.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Thank you to Ryan James, Kate Ritchie and also the Nova Network for getting behind and supporting the initiative of 36 months. That is what we're doing, guys. We're trying to change the legal age. You can join social media from 13 to 16.
Well, it's so easy to support.
Or 36
I'm so glad
months.
Somebody's doing it.
Oh my God, I had so many fascinating conversations with people. When I put my hand up and I said, guys, someone needs to take charge here. We need to make as much noise as possible. Let me help. We have a platform. So as we've said, when I talk, I represent all the parents out there and the teachers and anybody struggling with the impact social media is having on their adolescent child. But I spent, half an hour talking to a dad yesterday who had an incident with his child, and he was in tears, and he just wanted to talk through it. He wanted to know that something was being done. He wanted to know that conversations at the right level were taking place in the hope that quite possibly we could make a change. I mean, there's other countries around the world where this drive is big, especially in the UK, also in the States. I think Florida is the latest state to bring in the initiative to move it to 16, and it's combating those addictive features, the infinite scrolling, the likes, the shares, where simply a teenager is judged every minute, every day, but as they continue to scroll, every 30 seconds is a dopamine hit.
Can I just say something very quickly, which is you're talking about the dads and saying that he's struggling with perhaps a daughter or son at home. What I think is so powerful is that you can have the discussions at home and say, this is not okay, we don't stand by this, people shouldn't be doing this. But how wonderful to be able to then go out into the world at the moment and hear all of these conversations around it. It's not just a conversation at home with mum saying, that girl shouldn't say this to you. The world is saying this. We all support you. If you're off to school right now and you are battling with this, we are right behind you and we want to change it.
The other big one as well, right? Huey's 14 at the moment, Whip.
Yep.
The amount of change I've seen in him in we're talking from 13 to 14, Whip. You want to take it to 16, which maturity levels jump so much more. You don't understand. And I look at his football team now and I see some of these young men that are very vulnerable at the moment if they started social media accounts. The other thing as well, when you start a social media account, usually takes kids about a year before they start getting into it. They scroll, they don't really post too much. So 16 is actually, I agree, you could take it to 18. But
a lot of
16,
parents saying, why not 18? Well, we have to try. We have a greater chance of achieving 16 than 18.
You do. You then, from 16, it takes them a while to get into it, and so you're actually you're making it longer, and it's just it's a lot more powerful.
Well, Tommy, when the Nova Network said yes, let's do this, guys, on behalf of the network, straight away we had the Prime Minister call through. It was great to have him on the show.
I said this on the weekend. It's a really positive example of what the media can do that creates that positive space. I am very supportive of the work that is taking place, and I would encourage people to go to
36months.com.au. Just don't talk over the website, Prime Minister, 36months.com.au. But even when you go to that petition, I encourage this as well, because we appreciate these messages, knowing that there's cut through with the right people, but you can also leave a video message at that petition site. And this was one teacher who wanted to share their thoughts.
Just wanted to say how much this petition means to me. I'm a primary school teacher and I see the impact of social media on kids every day. Thank you for fighting for our kids.
My sister's a teacher and she said teachers are quitting. They're leaving their jobs because they can't teach anymore. They can't do their job because they spend their entire time putting out fires ignited on social media.
Well, social media is like a third person in the room all of the time, and a very
Completely.
powerful person.
Very powerful student. There's a place for social media. It's just not for kids between the age of 13 and 16. This was another message left at the petition.
Raising the age of access to social media is so important. I've been in the advertising and digital industry since the inception, and I know the addiction of social media. We have to put boundaries in front of our children as responsible adults, and it is the only sensible thing to increase the age and prevent early access and help children guide through how to use social media as they become adults. Please join.
We need your signature. 36months.com.au. Jump on it, guys. Do it on behalf of everybody calling for support.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Getting fined as a minor. I'm just a kid. Can we talk about this? I'm just a kid, all right? Now, this is unbelievable, but there's a coalition of legal services. They've called on the state government to consider scrapping fines for minors because some of these kids, they can't pay the fines, or the families can't pay the fines, and then when they go over into adults, they owe this money still, and it racks up.
What are you
Gets
calling
bigger
it?
and bigger.
Yeah, and it kind of becomes...
Like under 16?
Yeah, or is it under 18?
I don't know. When are you a minor? Well, you're a minor under 18, aren't you?
Well, see, this is
what world we're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's so true. What scale are we on?
This is the blow up here because a 16-year-old boy with an intellectual disability rode his bike without a helmet. On that single day, he was fined 3 times, twice by the same police officer.
God, that's bad luck.
$1,047 in debt to the state government, which is now carried into his adulthood.
I know. And then when you don't pay a fine these days, they'll send you a letter saying you lose. I mean, I know in adulthood you'll lose your license. So is it the same with scooters? And this kid, if he is the kid you're talking about, his scooter's his life. It's the way for him to get out of the house.
A 15-year-old girl was fined for travelling on public transport without a ticket. Upon seeing the $200 cost, she said, "Are you effing serious?" to the copper. They then bring the penalty to almost $1,000 for her offensive language.
Oh.
Now that gets carried over into her adulthood.
But
can't
it is
do
the way
that.
you learn, though, isn't it? I'm not saying it's okay, but like you only swear at a police officer once.
I saw outside...
Or 12 times.
I saw this kid yelling at a police officer once outside a footy game, and the police officer wrote him up on the spot and said, "I'll see you in court."
Yeah.
Bang.
See, this is the thing. You know what? As a cop, you would let that go, wouldn't you? I
Oh,
suppose.
not if you're copping it
not what I
every day.
saw.
And you know
Yeah,
that maybe
right.
Dad does it too, and it's the only
Yeah.
way you might be able to implement some change.
Pretty ugly.
13, 24, 10, if you did get into trouble with the cops as a minor, did they let you off?
Anyone
Did
get
you-
done for jaywalking too, Fitz? Like as a kid when you cross the road.
I get nervous doing
Does that exist? Do we have jaywalking here in Australia?
Is it American?
No, I think you can
Jaywalking's
get-
American.
you can get done here.
Yeah, they did a
So-
blitz on it in around Pitt Street.
Yeah.
More like
So-
every couple of months they do.
Jaywalking, I determine that as you walk across the road diagonally, or you're walking across the road when you're not supposed to.
Or just not at the light.
Do you mean diagonally as in the city you might walk from the QVB to Maya, or do you mean you physically walk diagonally?
Like, yeah,
Well, like a crab
when you
or-
cross the road, Kate, you're supposed to walk the quickest possible way across the road.
That's
Now,
not
if-
jaywalking. I think jaywalking is ignoring the red man.
Is it?
Woman.
Why is it called jaywalking?
I don't know. There'd be a story in that. I just think maybe police are not in the circumstances are different to years ago, where even like my dad was a policeman, and so years ago, police had the powers, and it may have turned out better for everyone involved if you could go up to some kids who were hanging out at the mall and causing a bit of trouble and probably swearing at you a little bit or using untoward language, and you could kick them up the bum and say, "Come on, get home," or "We'll put you in the paddy wagon and take you home."
Yeah,
and there
you
was a
can't
bit
do that
more
anymore.
small community about it, whereas now you're probably answerable to what you haven't done.
Did your dad ever threaten to arrest you at home because of your language?
I've never sworn. So say maybe let's talk about my sister.
Yeah, your
big
sister.
swearer.
Oh my God, Beck was a disaster.
No, she wasn't. No, he never did any of that stuff. He never did any of that
Tommy,
stuff.
update on jaywalking?
Yeah, so jaywalking actually comes from a very old term, which was jay driving, and that's when you used to people who drove on the wrong side of the road were called jay drivers. So it's not in, and it means you're a bit of a delinquent.
Oh,
But
That's what
where's
the J means.
Jay? A juvenile
God, I
delinquent.
would have
maybe.
And
I would have been a fiend at jaywalking then.
And the fine is actually for not crossing the road safely. So
Okay.
$220 here in Sydney. Yeah, for jaywalking.
Simon in Forestville, what did your mate get into trouble for the police as a minor?
Hi guys. When I was back in the UK, walking along the street with a mate of mine, he had a bit of a bad cold and he did a big snort and a grunt as we walked past the copper,
Yeah.
and he got dragged into the cells.
What for?
That's called the Bushman's hanky, isn't it?
Yeah, do you give it the Bushman's?
Yeah, well,
That's-
the implication was about sounded a bit like a pig.
Oh, okay. They thought he was.
Oh,
what's the?
Simon.
So I wonder what they got him for. Public nuisance?
Well, I
I
just
got a bit of
being-
a-
Just being a pig.
Gross.
Yeah.
But he had a
did-
cold. He didn't have a cold, Simon. He didn't have a cold.
I think he just spat at the
Nice
policeman,
way to
didn't
start the story, but it wasn't a cold.
Yeah, no, I think it was deliberate, Simon. Thanks, buddy.
Well, the old, what's the colour of the 2-cent piece? Copper. I mean, that's not really that's not a sledge, is it? It's not really a sledge. It's just a bit of a song.
It's just a bit of a
Well, it's one of the nicer songs, I would
ditty.
imagine.
I do like at the footy, though, if someone gets arrested, it's always, you're going home in the back of a divvy.
timeless, mate.
That's always a great song.
Time.
Have you ever been in the back of one?
Well, everybody, the chorus was massive at the Nova
Sorry,
Christmas
you've just
party
avoided Kate's question.
as Tom was getting.
Have you been in the
arrested.
back, Fitzy?
Yeah, I have,
Oh.
and I actually was a minor. I was 17 years of age.
And what did you do, Ryan?
When Tim Boston was directing traffic in the middle of Melbourne, Kate, and he was.
Is he a football player or a
swiftly
police?
No, Tim Boston is a local legend where we grew up. He was quite intoxicated. So I went over to the police officer and I said, look, we're from Adelaide. We've got a hotel. I'll take him and I'll look after him, which is weird because Tim would have been 20, 21 and I was the responsible 17-year-old. And they said, yeah, you know what? You can look after him in the cell. So they arrested me as well, Kate.
Does that usually work for you when you open with
I'm from
"We're
Adelaide."
from Adelaide" and they go, oh, "Move right along, thank you."
up, boys.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
We're on. All right. It's time for
60-second starts.
Kate Ritchie's Time Still Standing.
Now.
Visit Sydney's ultimate Kia experience dealer, Sydney City Kia, O'Riordan Street, Alexandria.
I think I'd say yes to Harry Styles.
God, are we back there?
Yeah, sorry.
It's the Kia Sportage SX Hybrid that everyone's talking about. Daryl from Quakers Hill, you're in the running for it, Daryl. Well done.
Yeah, woo!
Oh,
Congratulations.
Daryl.
Now, Daryl, hearing whispers that you're a big trivia nerd and you do quite well at I'm Still Standing.
Yeah, I love trivia, so I've been trying to get on for a while now, so let's see how we go.
But I'm on a running streak. I'm on a
Yeah,
running
I
streak,
know.
Daryl, and as much as I'd like you to take home the $700, I would like to be at $800 tomorrow.
No, you're not get there.
Well, Daryl, you've had a win already because you've got the power first up. You're our guest, but if you have the power at 60 seconds, at the end of 60 seconds, that money is yours and you're in the running for the car. Daryl, your 60 seconds. It starts now. Which Matildas player has just been ruled out of the Olympics?
Sam Kerr.
Correct. Name 2 countries that surround Peru.
Oh, pass.
Pass. Okay, let's go to Kate. Which artist just replaced himself at number 1 on the US Billboard chart?
Post Malone did.
Correct. Chef Pete Evans' brother Dave is the owner of what iconic Manly Wharf restaurant?
Hugo's. Oh,
Correct.
I was waiting for Daryl. Oh, God.
Who McGregor is a famous Scottish actor?
Ewan.
Ewan McGregor.
How
No,
many
Kate.
players? You're out, Daryl.
Yeah,
How
I
many
know,
players
I
are on
know.
the field in an NRL team, Kate?
12.
13 over Daryl. Daryl, vodka, Kahlua and espresso make what cocktail?
Espresso martini.
Correct. Where would you buy a Bondi burger? Daryl?
Bondi.
Incorrect.
Oh.
Incorrect. It's Oporto's. Kate gets it. It's gone to $800. Wow.
That was such a confusing round. I was waiting for Daryl to answer. I'm so sorry, Daryl. You're going to need to get back on.
We need that too.
Oh, no.
My God. So you're telling me that money jackpots to $800 tomorrow. Daryl, thanks for playing. Keep trying to call back. We'd love to get you back on the show, mate.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks, guys.
How good is that? How much?
Imagine taking that back to your trivia team, Daryl, on the weekend.
It's all thanks to your favourite show too, Kate, The Summit. They're the ones with the cashier. How much will they risk to make it to the top? New, The Summit, Monday to Wednesday, 7:30 on 9 and 9 now.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Here's an interesting one, Tommy. Am I into my...
You were very busy prepping off air, and you got distracted. You didn't know Laddo was finishing because you.
I thought you were reading something that whole time. On your phone.
No, I love how he finished with "rip into it," and he didn't, and he wasn't ready to rip into it.
Mate, if you can sell it in, you've won it. That's how you win Wednesday. If you want to win the week, you just make it up. No, I was having a look at some photos of my kids with underpants on their head and socks on their hands because they like sliding down the hallway.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a great game. It's a great game.
Are they doing that now in your house right now?
Yeah, but nothing to do with what I'm talking about. This is interesting because you know I'm fitness focused and I take my fitness very seriously.
What's the slogan on your shirt this morning?
Live
Keep
slow,
breathing.
die long. I mean, live
slow, die old.
Oh, you have a slogan as well.
I think that's your fitness slogan, isn't it?
So, I mean, I did Heartbreak Hill yesterday, guys.
No, you didn't.
I mean, you might know it from the bloody city to surf, from city down to Bondi.
When you say you did it, you wandered up with Lisa.
Don't say wander.
I'm just saying, did you have a coffee in your hand?
No.
Did she?
No.
Yes, she did.
Doesn't matter. Stopped to chat to a couple of people, a few of the locals. How's it going, guys? What's going on? Taking on the hill. How are you, Whip? Looks like you're shedding. Yeah, I am, mate, because summer will be here before you know it.
Shedding?
Yeah.
Like
Did
dandruff.
you say shredding?
Sorry, I
Are
meant
you
shredding.
shedding hair, are you?
Oh, he meant to say shredding.
I meant to say shredding.
It is winter. You meant to keep your coat.
Sorry, it's just when you're this hairy, it falls off all the time. And
Imagine your shower.
You need a bit of a oodle in you because then you don't molt.
Exactly. I'll put my mum on to you because mum's mad for a gadget. And the latest thing is she wants to get me one of those things you put over the drain so it catches hair.
Oh my gosh, because you're quite hairy as a woman.
I'm not hairy.
Mainly your top lip.
Mainly. My top lip is not hairy. Keep going.
It says here that a 30-minute run is better than your 10,000 steps a day, guys. Let's not focus on the 10,000 steps, it's saying. Let's focus on that 30 minutes of exercise a day.
Well, no, can I just say, walking is still very good for you.
Very good.
And some people can't run.
Yeah, you're right.
This study was done with 15,000 people to see which was more effective for weight loss, guys, or as we like to say, shedding. And it turns out that those who did, this is quite interesting, those that did, though, the 10,000 steps or at least 8,000, reduced their risk of heart disease by 40%. That's pretty bloody significant.
I think it's just getting your heart rate up, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can do that with a walk or the gardening sometimes.
Do you know what the other thing that we're learning more and more about is sleep?
No, this isn't about... You can't bring this whole story back to...
Yeah, but Kate,
you need to get your naps in.
If you don't sleep properly, like, Tommy, if I had it my way, city to surf, there'd be like a hostel halfway up Heartbreak Hill where you could sleep for sort of an hour.
There probably is.
And then keep going down to Bondi. You know, if we did sort of a, I don't know, city to sleep marathon.
Okay.
That'd be something I'd be interested in. This is where I invite you guys to make all the
city to surf and turf
annual city to surf and turf jokes, which normally
still trying to get over you shedding. That would look gross at Stereosonic.
Quickly out of the team, who is up for city to surf this year? Put your hand up, please.
It's on my birthday weekend usually in August.
Let's do it together then.
Oh, I don't want to spend my birthday with you.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Joe Rogan's podcast. I haven't been on it before, but I've got a pretty good idea. You go in there, you smoke a couple of doobies?
I don't think you have to. I don't think it's prerequisite.
Requisite. It's quite popular, isn't it?
Oh, it's massive.
Amazing.
Absolutely massive.
It's probably the biggest podcast in the world.
Well, have you heard
isn't it?
Educate?
Yeah, right up there.
Yeah.
Inform Me Fitz is right behind it.
Mind your mouth, Brian Fitzgerald.
Terrence Howard, great actor. 2006 was nominated for Best Actor, an Oscar for Hustle and Flow. He's been in Prisoners. Remember that great movie Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. He was in that. He was also in 50 Cent's movie Get Rich or Die Trying.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone on Joe Rogan. Now, there's a few claims that he's made. One is that he invented VR. Virtual reality. He tried to patent it and he said, I've missed out on $7 trillion that's been made by VR. That's
Well,
one.
I mean, that's a big loss.
A few other ones.
Is he the...
Okay, anyway, so the big one. Joe Rogan asked him about the first memory he can remember. He's going way back. And 13, 24, 10, what's your earliest memory? I don't think you can beat this because he's talking about being in his mother's womb. Have a listen to this.
And I was about maybe 6 months inside the womb. And I'm like, okay, don't forget I'm here. Okay. Don't forget. You go to sleep. You wake up again. Now something's moving in front of you. And you're like, oh, that's my friend. But I had a different name for it. I didn't know it was my hand. But I knew I had a title for it. Go back to sleep. Then ultimately you get ready to come out. I remember all of that.
You remember coming out?
Remember being compressed, and you want to panic, but you're flooded with like some serotonin and dopamine to where you feel relaxed. You go right back to sleep and you remember being born. I remember being circumcised. I remember the whole nine.
That's
awesome.
It's not amazing. It's a lie.
No, it's not, Kate. You can't
It's a
call
lie because we're talking about it now, and that's how to get cut through on Seth Rogen.
I mean,
surely.
imagine that moment if you could remember.
Oh, what?
Seth Rogen.
Is it Seth Rogen? Oh, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
I barely even remember the name of the show if it wasn't for Terrence. Is his name
Rogan,
Terrence?
Could you imagine that moment if you did remember when you were born?
You don't
like,
remember,
coming
and you
out?
don't remember getting ready. Oh, I've got to get ready to leave
And
here.
then-
Like, what are you doing as a
Imagine that,
child?
coming out and then turning around and going, how are you, Heather?
Yeah, but also him registering in his mind, this is unbelievable. I'm in my mum's womb. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. Whatever you do, remember this for the rest of your life.
No,
what a load of
You're
crap.
not having thoughts like that.
You don't remember. There's a reason.
It's so
quite
traumatic.
often. Kids, they don't even use a anaesthetic when circumcising a kid because they simply don't remember.
Well,
No.
they know.
That's
they know
another
it's
topic.
happening in the moment.
That's in the moment. I don't remember though.
Kirsten's given us a call from Botany. How far back can you go, Kirsten?
Hi, guys. So, look, I don't remember the action of doing it. So my mum was painting a chair. She went out to go and say goodbye to Dad. I had come downstairs, apparently, picked up the spray can and sprayed myself in the face in the eyes with enamel spray paint. Now, I don't remember that and doing it, but what I do remember, and I was maybe just two, and I remember being at the hospital and being on the bed under one of those big lights.
Yep.
And the doctor trying to tickle me to make me laugh instead of screaming and crying.
Wow,
So-
okay.
Two's
So
good.
2
Yeah.
years of age.
Yeah,
2 years of age.
Tickling is very old school.
Let's go to Mia in Lambie Heights. Early, can you beat 2 years of age, Mia?
No, I can't. But my earliest memory was when I was 4. I threw my pet rock at my sister and said it didn't like her because she was being mean.
Right, so
And you remember that action?
I do remember it.
at the age of 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
4? All right,
Yep.
let's go to Charles in Ingleside. What's your earliest memory, Chim?
Oh, hi. I was about 6 months old, according to my mum, but I remember quite vividly my brother, who was about 3 or so, pour a bucket of water over me, and I nearly drowned. I just cried my eyes out.
Ice bucket challenge.
6 months old, Charles.
Can you drown with a bucket?
Around about 6 months. My mum's in the nursing home now, so I can't ask her exactly the time, but I was in a crib, and I was a baby with a nappy on, and I couldn't speak yet, and my brother, I could still remember my brother sort of used to just be a bit jealous of me, the new baby.
Yeah, the new bubba.
That's extraordinary.
Okay, it was 6 months old. Can we beat that? Vinny in Liverpool. Vinny, what do you got?
I reckon I can beat 6 months. My earliest memory is at 3 months.
Oh, that's rubbish,
And-
Vinny. Come on.
Vinny.
No, I remember telling my dad about this memory, and it was the very first house we lived in.
Yeah.
And I remember telling him, I remember being like lying down, seeing my hands, and they were white, and seeing the rim of the bassinet. Obviously, I didn't know it was a bassinet at the time. And he said to me, absolutely not, because you were only 3 months old, and he had put socks on my hands to stop me chewing my hands.
Oh, so that's what you remember the white has, was the socks on your hands, Vinny.
I remember looking at the socks on my hands and the rim of the bassinet.
Vinny, that's extraordinary. And you still have that image in your brain today?
I still have that image in my brain today, yes.
But you can't remember what you did last weekend. That's the weird thing about memories.
That's pretty amazing.
Exactly right.
I think we need to listen to people who are older, though, in these scenarios, because I think that, like, our own children, and even me to a point, I don't know if their memories or my memory is continually jogged by photographs and videos. And, you know, like my daughter, May, who's 9, she won't really have to delve into her memory because she'll have a back catalogue of like first steps and
do you know
all
what
of
I
that.
did? Do you know what I did yesterday?
Go on.
Took the dog, went for a drive, and I walked around the street that I grew up in, Kate.
Another big day.
And oh my gosh, like the memories flooding back
What
of
did you
certain
think?
houses and people that were on the street. It was freaking me out. There was even to the point, a deja vu moment, where out of nowhere, Beastie was walking past a house and this huge dog just jumped at the fence and just scared both of us.
Yeah.
And it just took me straight back to a moment when I was a kid where there was a huge dog in that same house.
This isn't the house that got robbed 3 times in a month, is it?
Yes, it was.
Was it getting robbed when you went back there? Was it still
were you
I was
robbing the
actually
house?
going through the house.
Still trying to get some of me footy cards back.
Some things don't change.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Kate Ritchie's
Theme Queen.
Pens at the ready, guys.
Yeah, thinking about it.
Before we launch into round 15, I just want to say one quick thing, and I'm not dobbing anyone in, but my theme queen sheet was in Wippa's pile of things with some scribbled notes of his on the back. So did you just use it as spare paper, or did you look at the notes?
Why would you do that? Why would you suggest to the listener that I could possibly have an advantage in this round when I won it last week and I'm naturally good at this game?
Okay, I'm going to move on quietly. I just wanted to put it out there. Welcome to round 15 of Theme Queen. I am your host, Usher's #1 fan, and wishing I could do a U-turn out of this show, Kate Ritchie!
Wow. The cat specialist.
Yeah, well, yes. So we know the game is very simple, but very enjoyable. 3 rounds. In each round, there are 3 songs, and of course, each of the 3 songs are connected by a theme. Have a listen.
Okay.
Connect the dots.
Okay, here we go.
And then give me your answer. Please let me play all of the songs so you can have a think, even if you think it's easy, Fitz.
Of course, host.
Round number 1, song number 1. Classic, 1978.
Gotcha.
Okay. Big
Song
movie.
number 2, let's move along.
All my troubles seem so far away.
What a song.
Most covered song of all time.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really? That's
Apparently, some cover it well, some not so well. Song number 3. Either you're pretending you don't know, or you're having a slow morning.
Give Me Some Lovin' Yesterday.
Who's that
you're
from?
The one that I want.
The Spencer Davis group.
It
You're
doesn't
about
matter,
to
does
say
it?
that. No, it doesn't really matter, but we know the song, don't we?
They're all from movies.
Oh, they are all from a TV show.
Oh.
Do you want to run through
From
them
the
again?
same TV show?
Over a series of this TV show, yes. Honey, I'll sing along. Yesterday.
Can we play this, Tom? It's too slow, isn't it? I love it.
No, we want to play Blackbird over this one. You made it. See how I can sing that song quite well?
What's the TV show that had
Give me some loving. Give me some loving.
It Takes Two?
Yes! All three songs brilliantly covered by Usher's number one fan.
Kate Ritchie.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was good.
Oh no, we've been stumped on the easy round. Let's head into round number 2, song number 1.
I don't understand why. I think that you should let it burn.
Really quite touching the way he opened that. Song number 2.
I want to talk to you.
Got it.
Oh, Mika. Micah?
Great song.
Yeah, Micah.
Mika, isn't it?
Talented person.
Quickly, this one, Tommy.
Yeah, for sure.
But only if we play Grace Kelly.
Yes.
You have to record like a video to go with it, because I feel like it's a song where you dance up the hallway and sing along.
Tom, we are not playing Grace Kelly.
Mate, it's a great song.
Love it. It's a great song. What about maybe we could play song number 3?
Got it.
This is a bit slow too.
Big Dog's on.
Is this Christina?
Of course it is. Listen to those dulcet tones. Come on, Whip. Hurry up. Give me an answer.
They're all talking at the start.
Yay!
Or whispering, talking. Hey, that is also a beautiful song by Christina Aguilera.
That's what it's called.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. I do like the one where she's in the what's
Not
it,
that
Stronger?
car wash one.
No.
That was terrible.
I like the one where she's in the boxing ring. Okay, round number 3, guys.
I'm holding on your rope, got me 10 feet.
Is that Ryan Tedder? Is that One Republic?
Yeah, One Republic.
And I'm hearing what you say.
We've heard enough of that, really. Song number 2.
We were both young when I first
Who's that? Is that Kelly Clarkson?
Someone that Billy doesn't like very much at the moment.
Oh, gosh, this
Song
one's
number
tougher.
3.
Oh, Hinder. Lips of an Angel.
I can't believe that rolled off the tongue. The thing is with this round, you kind of need to know the song quite well. Like, have you sung it through before? Have you sung each of these 3 songs through from the beginning? Let's go back to song number 1 and how it starts.
Holding on your rope, got me 10 feet off the ground.
What, they all talk about a different...
Song number 2.
We were both young when I first saw you.
Song number 3.
Honey, why you calling me?
We might need some help this
All
morning.
about the love of a guy for a girl? No. What about this? All about... There's a religious element to it. What about this? About an angel?
Are you just rattling ideas off? Fitzy, have you got anything
The
for
lead
me?
singer of Hinder hooked up with Taylor Swift.
That's not bad.
No.
I think we might need to go to Amy in Oak Flats because it was tricky this morning. Can you help us out, Amy?
Hello, good morning, guys.
Got an answer, Amy?
Is it songs that start with the same lyrics and end with the same lyrics?
That would be correct. We can give you an example, I think, can't we? Okay, so even let's do Taylor, do you think? One of the more of the famous. This is how it starts. And this is how it ends. Let's do Apologise, maybe. It starts like this.
Yes, it's the end is the same as the start.
It ends this way.
Oh, the old
I should have known it with Lips of an Angel. I should have known.
Mate, you're Hinder's biggest fan.
Thank you, Amy. You're the winner today.
Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.